Hey guys, it's Chris. Today we're going to talk about mitigating signal interference when it comes specifically to a tire pressure monitoring system. So we're going to give you some general principles here. Now obviously all of what we talk about here is going to be very applicable to our Tire Patrol tire pressure monitoring system that we sell here at RVI. So we're going to use that as the example. But the general principles apply to any system that you might own. So even if you own another company's sensors, all of this is still going to be applicable. So it's worthwhile to note some of the best practices we're going to outline here. Before we dive too deeply into how to mitigate interference, we kind of have to talk about different types of interference, because not all interference is going to be created equal. There's going to be different types, and some of it's unavoidable. Other things are avoidable, or at least reducible. So the first type of interference is just generic background interference through areas you might drive through. This is one of those ones that's pretty unavoidable. Certain areas are just going to have a high level of background interference. Background interference happens from time to time. You'll probably see things drop out for a very short, very brief period of time, and you'll be back online. And that's going to happen across, again, any system you might own. Background interference is it might have some minor differences in the way it presents itself, but by and large, it's going to happen. Those dropouts should happen very infrequently though, and they should last for a very short period of time. We're talking usually a few seconds, maybe a couple of minutes, but no longer than that. Again, all of that's just going to be generic background interference, and we can't really get around that no matter what we do. Another form of interference that can happen is if you have damaged sensors. So let's say you're driving along and there's some debris on the road, some little bits of gravel or something, and those get kicked up and they hit a sensor and damage it, or something along those lines. We can minimize the effect of this by making sure all of our equipment's in good working order. We recommend checking your sensors at least twice a day. The first time being before you leave. Just walk around both your vehicles. If you have sensors on your motorhome and towed, walk around both vehicles, make sure everything looks right, and then when you get to your destination, do the same thing. That's going to help at least ensure that your sensors are all as optimal as possible. They're in great condition. And provided we don't have something weird happen on the road, we're going to be able to mitigate that side of things. But again, damage to sensors can cause some level of interference or interruption in communication. And then the final sort of interference we're going to look at is really the focus of what we're looking at today, and that's heavy interference that has to do typically with something in your motorhome that's causing just an extreme degree of communication loss. So typically in these instances, we're looking at communication loss that can last up to 15 minutes, sometimes longer, and it can sometimes affect many of your sensors in your setup. And this is something we can mitigate. It can be difficult to identify the source of the interference at times, but we have some best practices that we can do to help eliminate the effect of it at least. So to start with, again, the biggest source of this is going to be something in your motorhome. So it's typically a transmission-based device, so a Wi-Fi router, a ham radio, a Bluetooth device, or a satellite device, something that's using a signal to communicate wirelessly. Those are the most common culprits. However, they're not the only things that can cause communication loss. Other things that can are just any electronic device. Any electronic device, including sometimes whether it's on or off, is throwing off what's called the electromagnetic field. That electromagnetic field is typically not a problem, but there are cases where if that field is unhealthy, or for whatever reason there's some kind of strange fluctuation, it can interfere with different signals. Appliances are a really good example of this. Things like a fridge, a microwave are going to cause havoc all over the place if we put a transmitter like our command center hub near them. So these are just some examples. Against, it can be something like slide controls that can cause some interference as well. Those are also throwing off a field. So there's a lot of different devices that can cause issues. Typically they don't. These are going to be really rare instances where you see such an extreme degree of interference, but if you find yourself in that situation, what we need to try and do is, again, mitigate their effects. So that one of the best things that you can do, and our customer service team will always start in this place because it actually really is the silver bullet sometimes for fixing things, and it's really simple. All we need to do is take our transmitter. In our case, that would be our command center hub. In your case, it may be whatever transmission device your system uses, but we want to try and get that into a good neutral location. So a place we'll often recommend is in the middle of your bed, kind of towards the rear of the motorhome. That gets it away from any ancillary devices. It gets you away from walls, that kind of thing. Typically functions as a good neutral spot. Now, that spot isn't foolproof. It doesn't work in every case, but it's the place to start. if you continue to see interference issues after putting it in a neutral spot like that, we want to play around with that location. So what I would usually encourage folks is set it on the bed. If you drive for a short period of time and nothing improves, try another spot and repeat that as many times as you have to. And sometimes we have to try a few different spots. If, again, the neutral location like the bed doesn't work for you, then we want to follow a few other best practices as we're moving the hub around. We don't want to just place it haphazardly. So a couple things we can do are get the hub up high. That's one thing we can do because there tends to be a less extreme density of signals towards the roof of your motorhome. So getting it up high can tend to eliminate some of that. Another thing that we want to, again, make sure we do is keep it away from any electronic devices. Even if you think they're off, even if you're not using them, we want to try and keep it away from electronics because any of those devices can cause an issue if we get too close to them. And then the other thing to make sure that you do is on any transmission devices that do have an option for changing a channel or a bandwidth, we want to do that. Again, even if you're not using it heavily. Good example of this would be a Wi-Fi router. Even if you don't have your subscription set up or something like that, it's still going to be broadcasting some kind of signal. And so one thing that we can do, especially on a router, for example, is change to channel 6 or channel 11. Those are alternate channels on a Wi-Fi router, and those have the least amount of crossover with our command center hub. Now, obviously, if you're not using RVI's Tire Patrol and our command center, that channel may look different for your system. It depends on what kind of transmitter you have and what channel it's working on, if it's even using Wi-Fi. You may be using something that strictly uses radio. These are just examples, again, but they are examples of best practices. So keep things up high, keep it away from electronic devices, and then try and change the channel or bandwidth of other devices you have. So that's what we would want to start with if we were seeing extreme levels of communication loss. A couple other things you can do on the sensor end is potentially get your sensors out a little further from the wheels. That can help the sensors to kind of latch onto the hub a little bit more, or any transmitter. Aluminum wheel wells, while they're not the primary cause of interference typically, they certainly don't help things. So if your sensors are recessed or even really close to an aluminum wheel well or rim, then getting them out a little further from that can certainly help us to achieve a better connection with those sensors. And then finally, if you are using our Tire Patrol and our command center, which we would highly encourage you to look into, this is a system that's designed for RVing. So we've already kind of built a lot of mitigation strategies into this system designed specifically for an RV environment. So you're gonna have really good results with RVI Tire Patrol and command center. But one thing you can do if you are experiencing communication loss with our product, we actually have an upgrade that is available for your hub. If you're an existing or new customer, you can purchase an upgraded antenna that we have. And we don't have it come stock with every device just because it's typically not necessary. It's not something that typically is needed. But if you find yourself in a situation where nothing seems to be working, sometimes boosting the signal of your transmission device, in our case our hub, can really help. So again, we do have that alternate style antenna available that you can purchase. It's just a longer antenna that kind of helps amplify the signal of the hub so it can cut through things a little bit better. Now, that doesn't eliminate the core of the problem, which is the interference. So slight changes in the environment could bring it back, and if you change systems, it could bring it back too. Because we didn't actually solve the problem, we just kind of put a band-aid on it. But again, it's something that can help. It's a strategy that can help, but we would always encourage, even if you do get the extend antenna for the hub, we would encourage that you follow the best practices we've laid out here, because it's really gonna help solve more of the root of the issue and help to ensure that you just have a better experience for the longer term. So that's really some of the best mitigation strategies, guys, when it comes to the hub. It really sometimes does just come down to a couple of feet as far as moving the hub around when we talk about extreme communication loss. Again, most of you are never gonna see this, but if you do wind up seeing it, just make sure that you follow these best practices. And if you've got any questions on anything, let us know. We're available by phone, chat, or email. In the meantime, guys, happy RVing. Hey guys, thanks again for joining us. We can't wait for you to dive in a little bit deeper on this channel. We've got tons of other great videos on products, stories, tips and tricks for when you're on the road. Before you go check those out though, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this video. It may sound a little cliche, but it actually really does help us here on the YouTube side of things to make sure that we can continue to provide this kind of content for you. So if you've got any questions at all, never hesitate to reach out. We always love hearing from you. Guys, in the meantime, happy RVing.